channel. So today we are going to be learning how to apply eyeshadow, and I'm going to be showing you all a little bit of tips and tricks which will make your life a lot easier. So yeah, let's get started. So first we are going to start by priming our eyes. Now primer is a very important step. As you all can see, I have a lot of shades of color on my eyelids, like my veins. It's darker in the crease, it's lighter in my transition area, and all of that. So to make it even, you need to prime your eyes so that the eyeshadows that you're going to apply on top are visible and they are very evenly applied. So take it as a base on which you're gonna paint. So I'm using my concealer as my primer and I'm applying it all over my eyelids, and I'm blending it out with a beauty blender. Y'all can use a brush as well to blend out the concealer. So the next step is to set this concealer. For that, I'm going to use a creamy white shade. You all can even use your compact powder to set the concealer. I'm just using this Makeup Revolution I Heart Makeup Chocolate White palette. This is the palette that I'm going to be using for my entire eyeshadow application. So I'm just using the creamy white shade and setting this concealer with it using a flat eyeshadow brush. You all can use any brush. I'm just using this brush to set the concealer with, and you want to make sure that you're setting your concealer because that is how you're gonna get that very even application of your eyeshadows. Otherwise, if you don't set your concealer, the eyeshadows are gonna apply very patchily. So this is a trick that I've learned recently. I apply an excess amount of translucent setting powder at the corners of my eyes at an angle so that my eyeshadow is applied at an angle. So the angle is from the corner of your eye to the corner of your eyebrow. This is gonna make your eyeshadow give you that stark cat eye look, and it's gonna apply more evenly, and it's gonna make your life way more easier to apply eyeshadow. So next comes the transition shade. I like to apply my transition shades with these kind of blending brushes. These are like kind of flat at the end but still fluffy at the edge, so it's still precise but still fluffy, that it blends out your eyeshadow. Now I'm applying a transition shade. A transition shade is something that combines all your eyeshadow shades together. It's usually 2 to 3 tones darker than your actual skin tone. So I'm taking this light brown color, which is sort of darker than my skin tone, and I'm applying it directly onto my crease. So another tip is that you want to hold your brush a little farther away and not holding it too close to the actual start of the brush. Now what this does is it makes your eyeshadow blend way softer. If you hold the brush too closely, it's gonna make your eyeshadow application too precise and it's not gonna blend that easily. That is the reason you need to hold your brushes a little further away. So next we are going to move on to the crease shade. Now a crease shade is like 2 to 3 tones darker than your transition shade. As you can see, I'm taking this darker brown warmer shade and I'm going to apply that directly onto my crease. So one more tip is that you want to use windshield wiper motions, or you can use circular motions, or you can use rocking motions, or you can use all 3 motions together. So I like to alternate between 2-3 techniques. So as you can see, I'm applying that crease shade right into my crease and I'm keeping it there itself. I'm not taking it too high near the transition shade. It's just near the crease and a little bit upwards, just to blend and look a little softer. So once that is done, I like to take this crease shade even at my outer corners. This is like the most flattering look that I do all the time. It looks very good, it looks very natural. So that is what I'm doing here. I'm applying this right at the corner of my eye in a V shape, as you can see, and I'm taking very little product at a time and building it up as I go. So take a little bit of it, tap out the excess from your brush and then apply it on your eyeshadow. Otherwise you're gonna get a lot of fallout. I'm applying this shade, taking the flat edge of the brush and then blending it out in the outer corners. This is one technique that I use, and when I'm applying it in the crease, I point it towards the crease and blend it out. And then once that is done, I like to take a clean fluffy brush. Now these are the two brush options that I have that y'all can use. This is way more fluffier than the brush that we were using right now, and this is clean. So a clean brush helps in blending both the shades together. So I'm just blending the edges in the transition area and the crease shade that we applied right now. This is gonna make your eyeshadow look way more blended and a very smooth gradient that everyone sees on Instagram. Then once that is done, I'm using a smaller tapered brush. There are various options that you can see. This is the Pro Art brush that I'm gonna be using, and then I'm applying a darker brown shade, which is 2 to 3 shades darker than the crease shade that we applied, and I'm applying this only at the outer corners to darken that area. Now this gives a little bit of depth to your eyes and it makes it look like your eye is way more lifted. So it's a classic smoky eye, but a very subtle smoky eye. And again, as you can see, I'm concentrating that color right at the outer corners and I am flicking it a little bit upwards just to give that cat eye look to your eyes. And I'm blending it out in, as you can see, rocking motions and circular motions. And then I'm again using my crease shade to blend the edges of this dark brown shade. This is like a key step. You want to keep blending the 3 shades together so that, you know, it looks way more blended and a smooth gradient. So next we are going to apply our eyelid shade. Now I am using a matte creamy shade that we use to set our concealer. You can use any shade, any shimmery shade that you would like to use, and I'm using a flat shader brush which is fluffy but flat and gonna blend out the edges very well. This is a Pro Art brush that I absolutely love to apply my eyeshadow on the eyelids, like the pigmented eyeshadows that I apply on the eyelids, and I'm only applying it halfway wherever we've not applied eyeshadow. And once you've done that, you want to make sure that you're blending out the edges of these two eyeshadows, the darker brown shade and the creamy white shade that I applied. So I'm just taking the same crease shade that we applied, the warmer brown shade, and blending out the edges so that it looks like a smooth gradient. I do not like taking the darker brown shade and blending it out. I like to take the crease shade to blend it out because that looks way more natural and like a smooth gradient. And then I am just layering the products a little by little so that the intensity is good enough how much I like it. Once that is done, I am just gonna remove the excess product or the excess powder, setting powder that we'd applied at the outer corners so that our eyeshadow does not apply very sloppily. So as you can see now, the eyeshadow is way more precise. So once that is done, I am gonna take my blending brush that we applied to use the crease shade in the crease, and I'm gonna apply that very sloppily in my lower waterline. You do not have to be very precise. Just the one thing that you want to make sure that you're connecting the eyeshadow at the edges of your eyes so that, you know, the entire look looks very complete and pulled together. So the next step that we are gonna do is gonna take a pencil brush. I love this pack pencil brush. This is not very tapered at the edge, but it's still fluffy so that it blends out your eyeshadow very well. And I'm gonna take the darker brown shade that we applied at the outer corners, and I'm gonna apply this very precisely, very close to our lower lash line, and I'm gonna apply it halfway and connect it at the outer corners. Now this is gonna give you that almond shaped cat eye that looks very flattering. And once that is done, I just love applying a nude eyeliner in my lower waterline. This just makes your eyes look way more wide awake and way more rounder and bigger. And then once that is done, we are gonna highlight the highest points on our face, that is under our eyebrow region, right on our brow bone. And I'm applying this shimmery white shade at the exact arch of our eyebrow with the same shader brush that we used. And then I'm gonna take the pencil brush that we use and I'm gonna apply the same shimmery white shade at our inner corners. Now the technique that I've learned recently is to go from above to apply our inner corner highlight. That is just gonna make it look way more lifted rather than going straight or from the downward direction. You want to make sure that you're applying your inner corner highlight from the upward region. And then to pull the entire look together, you need to apply lots and lots of mascara. You can also apply eyeliner, that is completely optional, but mascara is a must for your eyeshadow or makeup look to look put together. So I just applied some falsies as well because I love falsies. So yeah, this is the entire tutorial where I teach you how to apply eyeshadow. I hope you guys learned, and if you have any queries, comment in the comment box below. I will be very happy to help you guys out. And yeah, that's it for this video, and I'll see you all in my next one very soon. Until then, bye.